Okay, picture it. You wake up in the morning, you come home from work, or, you come back from the store or from a party, and you decide you want to check out your Gmail or your Google Plus if you even use the shit. And you look in there and it says you have a claim from so-and-so, which is like some company you probably never heard of in your life, like myself, at some points. Now, this is not a strike, this is not a flag, this is not anything else. It's just a claim saying, blah, 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 owns this and that. So you go and check it, you investigate, you see what the exact moment where this said clip has that audio where they're talking about, which most of the time it mostly is audio at this point. It's not mostly visual as much. Now, you do get the visual claims, which from like Capcom, wherever else, and you can easily dispute it by removing the video off your channel and everyone can skip merrily down the road. Because usually Capcom doesn't necessarily flag you for that type of thing. Unless you're like showing full-on cutscenes or whatever else, which, shame on you. But, anywho, basically, here's the dealio and what I think of all this situation. Now, since November 18th, this is, of course, was a fair warning to most of us, which, fair enough, I suppose, to a degree and underlined. They say that, it could be a lot more fiercer, could be a lot more stricter in what you can distribute as original content here on YouTube. Now, at the end of the day, yes, people play different ways in video games, but, you're playing a game. That's just that. You shouldn't be making any money off playing a video game that you don't physically own, you don't actually own. Yes, you bought the game from brick and mortar, or you bought it from online, or you just had it in your collection sitting for like centuries. Of course, depending on how old the damn game is, and, sort of like that abandonware theory, where you can play an old-ass game and most companies aren't necessarily going to jump on your bones because of it. But this is more in lines towards the newer games from like Nintendo and Capcom and all these things in between. While EA said that, they necessarily don't really care as much about, Let's Players for at least the multiplayer aspects of their games, such as Battlefield 4, or Activision kind of said, we don't really care if people play the multiplayer aspect of Ghosts or Black Ops 2. So again, it's at very gray scale. But at the same time, there's a third party to all this. There's people who compose that music, and this is not necessarily Activision, because Activision didn't make the game, they're only publishing it. These usually claim some third-party, outlets that, of course, produce this stuff for these said companies. So now they're just getting upset because they don't want people to make revenue off the stuff they compose, because it's a listening element, more than anything else. Even though necessarily it's like half a second of something, it really doesn't, I don't really think it's that big of a deal if people hear half a second of that content. But this is just how the mindset of a businessman is. It's just like someone, for example, just ripping all your videos off your channel, then applying for AdSense or whatever else, then making money off your videos. You wouldn't like that because it's your content. And that's kind of how businessmen think. They just don't like the fact that people are making money off something they constructed. It's just like someone going into your art gallery, stealing all your art and just selling it in their place instead of you making a profit of the stuff you just painted. Now, again, at the end of the day, it's your video game. Absolutely, you bought the game to play, and play it as much as you want. But at the same time, it's just like me saying I should have the right to, upload a video full hours on end of me just playing a campaign through for a game that just came out, and making money off something like that. Again, it's intellectual property we're talking about. It isn't the generalization of you just playing it, happening to play it on a camera. At the end of the day, if you're not making any money off of it, you're just playing it for the sake of playing it for your channel. I don't think the companies necessarily care that you have it uploaded. They just want to make money themselves. You think that's acidine because they're making a dime off your back? Well, think of how they feel. That's generally how I could see the general bluntness of it all. You can debate me all day, but that's just how it necessarily is, I agree at the end of the day, you should be able to just play it as much as you want. But I wouldn't personally like to make $1 off these said games myself. Usually if I do get a claim, I review it myself, and if it's valid, or it does seem like something that's legitimate, I simply remove the video, and I dust my hands and go, fair enough. And at the same time, if it's like something that I originally created myself, it's just me on front of the camera, me talking, there's no music going on whatsoever, there's no posters, nothing that supposedly is copyright, then I dispute it and go, hey, fuck you, it's my video, And then I just sort of dust my hands at that and, it gets revoked. So, I'm not talking about my claim, I'm talking about their claim. But you get the big picture there. So, at the end of the day, that's just how it is, right? We did not pay millions of dollars ourselves physically out of our own pockets to be able to upload these said videos on YouTube, to use the said content, which is the video game itself, to do that. I mean, heck, there's this guy called the Rad Brad channel, or whatever the heck it was, that was quite irate. He was doing gameplay for, his channel. He was talking about his life or whatever else. And supposedly he got some sort of... I got the link... I'm going to provide a link with the said article from Otaku so you guys can read that. And, this is an example here, right? It's like, he could talk about his day, just jump on camera and talk about your day. I mean, why? I understand something just to distract someone's eyes, whether, they don't have to look at some boring guy talk. But hey, I mean, if you're necessarily focusing the entire video on your day, hop in front of the camera and talk about your day, all right? Now, this is not me being some sort of sheep, some sort of stooge for the big man with the dollar. No, I just see the common sense that, hey, these people pay a lot of money to license as well as make all the said music and all the said content in the background. If they choose to be snobbish about it, what the fuck can we do? It's... You can stop buying the game and you can feel entitled that you stopped buying the game from the said company and you feel like you got a victory. Bravo, I clap for you. For me, quite frankly, I have to respect it, because what can I do? Nothing. Because I didn't necessarily make the said content. This is just not me being some sort of, oh, you guys are all wrong. Because no, not necessarily. It's your videos at the end of the day. You can upload as much as you want. Hey, that's what they're saying too. They're not saying you can't upload the videos to YouTube. It's just like me saying you don't. This is the same thing, It's the fact you can. It isn't like they're saying you're going to rip it down because you're uploading it. They're just saying you're not making any money off that said video. And then there's these other people who upload movies and music videos and actual full albums up on YouTube. Do those people have the right to do so? Because at the end of the day, people can actually rip that stuff. And, chop it into pieces and actually save it onto a CD, and that's, of course, pirating in a sense, right? Like these brand new albums from, like, Fall Out Boy or whatever else. I mean, yes, these companies try to do their best to, even though necessarily sometimes isn't generally that great, because Vivo censors the shit out of half the music videos we hear or want to listen to on this website, because that's generally what I like to do. I like to listen to a song or two and get it out of my system. I can listen to the Phoenix from Fall Out Boy. You homosexual for listening to the Phoenix. Hey, fuck you. Fall Out Boy's a quality band. Touch my damn nipples. But, again, at the pinpoint of it all, it's those examples are really what these companies are going after. People who are uploading full albums in audio format and just sort of leaving like a splash image of like the album, and they're going after those folks. Then you have the other aspect of it all, where some of these claims are unlegitimate, which I agree, unlegitimate. So therefore, they should not be valid to strike you with that. And that's, of course, what I'm defending those folks who do get that sort of false sense of flagment on their channels. This is not me saying those false flags are right. I'm just generally saying that if they're a legitimate flag, what can you do? Just respect it and move on. There's just people doing whole gameplays of some of the new Mario Brothers game that come out, and I shit you not, I look at my inbox, tons of people doing that at once, right? It's your absolute option to not watch that video if you don't want any spoilers, so it's sort of an optional kind of thing, but I know people who do this and don't claim it as their own, so that way it's available to all, it's not monetized, and they don't make a dime off of it. And Nintendo goes, hey, blah, 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 I'll just tag this right here and make some money, you can upload the video game and show the footage. Again, I could see the blatant grayscale of it all. And, that's why I'm not totally against why these folks claim the videos on your behalf. Yes, it took you 24 minutes to play a segment of the game, but hey, if the company does not want you to make money off of it, respect it. That's what I'm doing. Unless it's like something like, what is it? Like an MMO or something like that. I don't think really any company is going to care if you're playing a massively online game. I mean, again, it's very grayscale. The multiplayer experience is usually very different versus a on-rail segment such as Battlefield 4's campaign or anything else in particular that involves some sort of cinematic quality presentation. So, again, that's my opinion. You have your opinion thinking that, you know what, I bought this game, I have the right to upload it up on YouTube and make money. Yes and no. You have the right to play it as much as you want on YouTube, to share it with your buddies, to sort of demonstrate the quality of the game, but, we necessarily don't have the right to make money off of it. So, yeah, that's generally all there is to it. But yeah, what do you guys think of this said topic? I mean, yes, it sucks that these illegitimate claims are being processed a lot recently. Hopefully they can address this and fix that. Even Capcom themselves said that, hey, we haven't been really claiming this shit, so it isn't us that's doing it. So it needs to be something investigated at the end of the day. So, again, hopefully stuff could be resolved, blah, blah, blah. Touch my nipples, light some candles, and let's dance. Put on your red shoes and sing the blues. But take care, everybody.